And my voice is just off today. Hello, everyone. My name is Charles. I am a customer success advocate here at the awesome ServiceNow. I have set up a series of office hours to kind of help you guys around topics that you may have mentioned in our monthly check-ins, as well as through previous surveys that we've had on these office hours. The purpose of the office hour is to basically invite a subject matter expert to talk to you guys about the topic that's at hand. And for the first 15, 20 minutes to kind of go over, level set, what to expect, best practices, if there's any demonstrations, kind of showcase those particular items as well. And then for the remaining 40 minutes is really about cute question and answering. Give you a chance to talk with the subject matter expert around some of the questions you have, maybe talk about your use case to kind of get some of those, as well as get you a chance to talk with other customers who have a similar interest in that topic. So today's topic is the exciting ITSM Pro, Grow to Pro. A lot of you have upgraded to ITSM Pro, so this is a perfect time. Some of you may not have upgraded, maybe thinking about it. This is also another awesome time to understand what's possible. So we've invited the lovely LT Smith. She's one of our senior level subject matter experts in ITSM Pro, and she's going to be walking you through her presentation and then to talk to you high level about ITSM Pro. So LT, it's all yours.
Thanks, Charles. I appreciate that. All right, I am preparing to share out my screen, so you guys should be seeing a presentation that says enabling your transformation. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So really quickly, as Charles said, my name is LT Smith. I've been with ServiceNow for 4.5 years, 2 years doing this type of work, and then 2 years prior to that, I was a solution consultant working with customers in the field. And prior to joining ServiceNow, I was a customer. So I had 6 years in IT in various roles throughout support services and network and system administration. So I currently work with customers day in and day out to help drive their digital transformation utilizing our ITSM professional product line. That is my only job. So I am very excited to present to you guys today a high-level overview of ITSM professional, and then see what your feedback is for us around hurdles, questions, concerns, thoughts, use cases, anything that you guys want to talk about. So last year, a survey was issued out to all the CIOs across the United States, and it asked them what their digital transformation agenda contained. What were they really concerned about? And it came down to 3 different transformation agendas: elevating the employee experience, reimagining the customer experience, and then transforming IT operations. So these are the 3 areas that we found our customers are really focused, and they need our help and our partnership in utilizing the platform to achieve these transformation goals. We also found some new emerging IT themes across our customer base over the last year. One of the themes that we're going to cover today is really around modernizing that experience. So utilizing a process-based engine still, right, that ITIL-based platform, and utilizing it to automate some of the work that we do so that we don't have to keep all of those tools in-house, and we can provide a better experience for our employees. The other theme that we're going to cover today is optimizing IT services. So this is taking your services to the next level. The vendors that are responsible for those services, and then continually improving on those services based off of the goals that you have, not only for your organization, but for your industry. So in order to accommodate these emerging themes and the feedback from the survey that was issued last year around the transformation goals, we continue to drive the platform in the direction that we feel best benefits our customers. So this is just a high-level overview. I'm sure you guys are likely familiar with most of these features, but today we're going to be focused on, of course, New York and Orlando. And what good would the products be without some success stories? So last year we worked with MGM to get ITSM Professional up and running, and their success was, it was not expected, not in the amount of time that they saw results. So within 2 months of launching virtual agent and chat on our platform, they had a 16% reduction in the incidents that were open. And that is huge for a company if you think about the call volume that comes in and the costs associated with each one of those calls. And they were just getting started. So again, they stood up virtual agent in 2 months, and they were able to see some immediate success. So it can be done. It just really depends on what the goal is for your digital transformation. Novon is another really great account. I had the pleasure of working with them last year, and they were all about digital transformation. Their single goal was to transform the way that they deliver services to their employees. And they deliver a lot of services. So they utilized the professional suite along with the platform, which is integration hub essentially, to automate the type of services that they could and allowing them to focus on the services that really needed expertise from their IT staff. And they continue to do more. It's really an exciting group that gets the transformation agenda, and they know what they need to do, and they understand the platform. They reach out to us. They utilize people like myself and Charles to make sure that they're going in the right direction and they're getting the best value that they can out of their investment. All right, so I've talked a lot about Pro. Hopefully everybody's familiar with the suite of applications that come with Professional. Just to remind you guys, it's Service Owner Workspace, Vendor Manager Workspace, Virtual Agent, Continual Improvement Management, Performance Analytics, and Predictive Intelligence. So today we're going to walk through a very high-level overview of how these features are being utilized to enable the transformation, not only for your employees, also for your technical staff. So the people that are responsible for doing the work day in and day out, giving them a better method to do it so that they can work smarter. And with that, we're going to hop into the demonstration. Any questions? All right, awesome. Okay, can you guys see the how can we help screen okay? I'm gonna.
Yep.
Okay, great, awesome. All right, so what we're looking at is the typical service portal. If your organization has not stood up a service portal yet, that's something that you do want to consider. So when we're talking about delivering a new experience to our employees, we're adding a new channel for communication, and that's with Virtual Agent. So you can see the bubble down in the lower right-hand corner.
What's happening now?
Sorry, was there a question?
All I see is happening now. I don't see your portal.
Oh, okay, thank you. I didn't realize it was sharing the other screen. That probably makes more sense. Thank you for that. How is this?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so on the service portal, we have the virtual agent option. If you don't use a service portal, you're going to have to figure out how you want to deliver the virtual agent option. So we do offer chat integrations with other platforms. And in our next release, we're looking to add some API support for homegrown systems, things like that, if you'd rather integrate with a different chat platform aside from the ones out of the box. So imagine Joe employee is getting ready to head home for the 4th of July weekend, and instead of celebrating, he's going to be working on a big project that he's very excited about. But of course, he's at home and he's having VPN issues. So where Joe would normally need to call, send an email, or go online to the service portal and submit a ticket, he can now talk to Virtual Agent. So he's going to come out here, type VPN, and Virtual Agent is going to use the natural language understanding and the intents that are designed within the Virtual Agent engine to pull up the triaging topic for VPN. So these topics are provided out of the box. You guys can modify them. You guys can copy them, add to them, or create your own. And to quote one ServiceNow developer that I spoke with 2 months ago, I said, how did you get started with Virtual Agent? what topics did you decide to do? And he said, honestly, we just turned on the ones out of the box, and immediately it helped, because we get calls all day long for people trying to check their status or escalate their ticket. And these were things that they could do now out of the box. So you don't have to put in a ton of work and effort into creating custom topics if you see the same type of call volume, if you see the same type of use cases. So we have a complete list of the topics that are available out of the box for you guys. We add to those every release, but VPN is one. So I didn't have to go search a catalog. I didn't have to, click into the knowledge base and try finding that article. I just simply typed in VPN. And if I know I'm on a Mac, then it's going to pull up the recommended steps. So this is, again, built into the topic, and it is essentially a triage script. So the information that the help desk would give if I had to place this call, which costs on average $8.60 a phone call, I no longer have to do that. I don't have to wait. I don't have to worry about the after hours service. I can just click through these directions, and as long as they work, I'm good to go. So this is how we are deflecting incidents from ever being created, because most of the time we're just simply repeating information on the help desk. We're resetting passwords, we're providing how to, we're, we're fixing Outlook profiles. It's the same thing a majority of the time at that level 1. And that's what we're trying to help offset, the intake that level 1 actually has to provide over the phone, or that walk-up service. So Joe's now connected to VPN in this scenario. He's good to go, so he's going to exit out. He just received a survey. He's very happy because he didn't have to call the help desk, and he's connected to VPN. So now that he's connected, he's trying to pull up his email, and he's realizing that he's missing a presentation that was emailed to him by a colleague the other day. So he's going to come back out to Virtual Agent, and he's going to see if Virtual Agent can help him figure out why he's missing email. So he's going to type in email and see what that gets him. And Virtual Agent knows these are the available topics that pertain to the keyword that was typed in. So I'm going to say I'm having email issues. And again, we're simply going to be facilitating a conversation. We're providing him a more intimate experience than the self-search out on the website of the service portal, but we're not taking that cost of the phone call. And so I'm having an issue receiving email. And again, I may be presented with some information. In my case, this isn't going to work. And if I want, I could take a look at this knowledge base article that Virtual Agent presented to me. As a typical employee, I don't like any of this. This looks like it's very complicated. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to click no here. And I'm going to go ahead and submit this ticket. So in less than a minute, I've gone through and opened up a ticket. And I can see that the priority is pretty low, and that kind of upsets me. So I would like to do something about that. I don't want to have to call. I just want somebody to pay attention to this. So I could come in here and see, oh, okay, escalate my ticket. That's exactly what I'd like to do. And the system knows which tickets I have open, and it'll present me with the option to escalate the one that I am interested in and getting some more attention for. I can type I'm at work stoppage. And now my ticket's been escalated. So in a matter of less than 5 minutes, I have received help from my VPN, I've opened a ticket, and I've been able to escalate the ticket all without having to place a single phone call to the help desk. Now, how we handle this on the back end will be up to our organization, but in my scenario, our organization has Jane Worker utilizing our Agent Workspace. So if you guys haven't taken a look at Agent Workspace, it's not specifically a professional feature, but what we're going to look at within Agent Workspace is only available if you're utilizing professional. So as the on-call level 2 technician, I'm going to receive a notification that the incident has come in after hours and it's been escalated. And I could receive that via the mobile app, push notification. It may be a text that I receive from the platform, or it could just be a simple email notification I know to look out for. But here I can see all the information about the ticket. And I can understand that he is at a work stoppage, he told us. And I can go over here to Agent Assist. This is in the lower right-hand corner. And this is the area where we're going to utilize predictive intelligence to do some trending on open incidents. So if I click on this toggle bar, I can look at anything that's related to this, as long as I have set up a solution and trained it. So in our case, we're going to do similar incidents. And I can see right now that we have several open incidents for people who aren't receiving email. So right from this workspace, I could go ahead and create the outage, the change. I could propose a major incident. Again, this is really how your organization handles this process. But what I want you to see is that utilizing predictive intelligence just saved this technician from having to go troll open incidents, open changes. It saved her from needing to run any reports. She didn't have to ask any colleagues if they're getting calls about email. She can see all of it right here. So this is, again, a huge feature for ITSM professional when we talk about saving that time and really transforming that experience that your employees have, even your technical ones. All right, so the last persona that we're going to take a look at is one of somebody in a management or leadership position. And really the focus for this is optimizing the services. So we're taking a look right now at a very nice performance analytics dashboard. I hope that you guys are comfortable with performance analytics. If you're not, I would really recommend you take the free on-demand training. I think it's a 2-hour course, it's free, and get started with performance analytics. It will provide you not only great information about how well you're doing, it will provide you insight on areas where you could be doing better. So this dashboard, of course, gives us a ton of information, but it also helps us understand our resolution costs per tier. So we're talking about tier 1 support. How much is that costing us? Do we have a goal to decrease that because of virtual agent, right? Utilizing the same platform engine to monitor the success as the feature virtual agent or predictive intelligence. So we can utilize this information to set our goals, to set our thresholds, and to really understand if we're continually improving and meeting the initiatives that we have. Virtual agent also comes with its own out-of-the-box dashboards that will allow you to track some very basic metrics, right? Which topics are being utilized, which channel are we being communicated with? So maybe we have a ton of people using Teams, and we're considering a service portal redesign. Does that really matter if it includes virtual agent or not, if everybody's utilizing Teams? So it just helps give you, again, that insight to make those continual improvements in the right direction. And then similarly, we have the predictive intelligence dashboard. So predictive intelligence has been set up on multiple occasions by customers and ServiceNow in an hour. In a sub-prod environment, we've had it up and running with 93% accuracy in an hour. And that included kind of a cross-training session of here's how you iterate on this solution, here's how you create more solutions. So if you've been not certain about your data, not certain about predictive intelligence making a big difference, I encourage you to reach out and get predictive intelligence up and going in your sub-prod and just see what the results say. See what it comes up with. We also offer a ton of resources and training for predictive intelligence as well. And I'll share that information with you guys toward the end of the session. So as I'm looking at the services, I may feel like email is an issue, right? It seems like we have a ton of open email changes, and we have a ton of incidents coming in for email. So if I come in and check out this service, and if you guys haven't started working on your service portfolio, I would encourage you just to start with a small subset. That's where I've seen the most success. Companies get overwhelmed and they want to import their list of services for the entire organization, or a very complicated Excel spreadsheet with all of this great information in it. But if it's not helping you reach your digital transformation agenda or your goal, then it's not going to get you anywhere. You can pump data into ServiceNow all day long, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here. But unless it helps you get to a goal, you're going to be disappointed. So I tell people, start small. Just start with a small set of services, maybe the services that IT uses to provide service to the organization. Those would be pretty critical services. So, you know, Active Directory, things like that, that you guys utilize. And it's pretty easy to get these into the system, but we can take a look at everything related to this service, the offerings within it, the services that are dependent on it, open incidents, change requests, and most importantly, our new continual improvement module. So again, everything's on the same platform. It's all integrated. So we have the capability right from this service to create an improvement initiative. So you can say, look, this service is always going down. It is, you know, really impossible to work on. So I'd like us to reduce the MTTR for email outages. Too many work loss cases. I don't know. So we can fill this out, right? And this doesn't have to be a complicated process, right? All we're doing is providing a sample framework for you guys to track continual improvement initiatives. These are things that aren't going to be blown out projects. They're not going to have a budget. They're not maybe even any one specific person's role to fix. But as a service owner or as a vendor manager, I'm going to need other people to have visibility into this continual improvement initiative. So that's where putting it into the platform, being able to add information like an improvement KPI, so anything tied to email here. We can also create target review dates in the system. So anyone that's been utilizing the platform and the change management module knows when you start adding dates, approvers, it allows you to automate the flow of the process. And that just helps get us closer to getting that work done. Instead of sending 8 emails over the course of 2 months trying to figure out if somebody was able to pull a report because you're curious about the service, you can create the initiative and then create a task for that individual to pull those reports. And so continual improvement tasks show in the system, just like regular tasks, incidents, catalog requests, things like that. And this is just, again, another great feature to allow you guys to track your progress. So I won't go through the work of creating this one, but I will briefly show you the CIM dashboard. Allows you to take a look at how you're coming along. So if I want to make a reduction in vendor changes, right? This would be my improvement initiative. And down here, you can see the phases, the tasks, anybody that we need to have approve it. And then maybe it does become a bigger situation or a bigger initiative than you originally think. As you start meeting with people, you can still tie it right into the ITBM module in ServiceNow. So if you're also utilizing those efforts, it's not segregated in any fashion from that. So again, another great feature, another option for tracking your transformation initiatives. I tell people all the time to put virtual agent in as a continual improvement initiative. Whatever virtual agent is helping you achieve, whether that's cost savings, whether that's a better customer experience and improving your employee satisfaction rates. You can track any of that in the system. It's just creating the right improvement initiative, and keeping those initiatives focused on your digital transformation goals will help you guys prove the success once you get it in there. Okay, so that's enough about continual improvement. We talked already about vendors and services, but really briefly, I will show you the new vendor manager workspace and service owner workspace. So we still have the option to load in all of our vendors, issue out the same surveys, understand how the vendor is performing, but we now offer the vendor manager workspace, which is just a more employee-friendly view of the same information. It allows them to utilize the power of performance analytics, where we collect the information to see how the vendor is performing and utilize this information ahead of any regularly scheduled reviews of contracts or performance, cost information, things like that. So this view is designed for your vendor managers. And then alternatively, we have the service owner workspace. And this would be for any services that you have access to see. So say I'm responsible for the wireless. I can see everybody who subscribes to this service, and I can see the offerings segregated out. So if I want to see how this service in San Diego is doing, right? We've only had 7 people subscribe to the wireless in San Diego, so maybe we don't upgrade the equipment. Or maybe we create an improvement initiative to discuss why wireless isn't being utilized as much as it should be for the cost of the service, things like that. So these views are both new. The workspaces are new. We're improving them every release and adding more capability to them. The performance analytics aspect that you'll see here, you do have to set the jobs up, and you have to create this capability for the right people. So you don't want to show too much information to the wrong personas, and ensuring that you give read-only privileges to the right roles is really important for these workspace views. But again, working on them every release. And that is essentially the overview of ITSM Professional. The only other thing I will show you guys is the ITSM community was revamped. I believe it was late last year, and we have broken out all of our ITSM applications. And so for any of our features, you can click in for virtual agent. It will give you a repository for best practices, overviews, setting up your topics correctly, product information, a readiness checklist, which is really worth the time. If you're thinking about virtual agent, or maybe you've gotten started and you're not really sure if you're going down a rabbit hole or not, the readiness checklist is really helpful to get your mindset thinking about the right things. And then we also have our Learning Academy, which will provide you guys that on-demand training for the PA, which is Performance Analytics, PI, Predictive Intelligence, and VA for Virtual Agent. All right, I know that was a lot. We talked a lot about how we would use these features, but what I mostly work with customers to understand is, where do we begin, right? So yeah, this looks like a lot of really great features, but we're not really sure where we would begin. So the very first thing I always recommend is just a 1-hour workshop session where we look at what's going on in the instance. We look at a few dashboards to see what information we care about. What are we collecting? The MTTR, the average reassignment time. What are we seeing in the system? And how does that align with the priorities and goals? Because you guys all have day jobs. Your organization, your division, your entire company may be going through unforeseen changes right now, and priorities shift a lot. And so we may all want to do great, grand things with the platform, but if we can't align those to the priorities of the organization, the adoption will be much slower, and sometimes it will fail. So we always want to make sure that we understand the priorities and goals and that we align with that. And making sure that your instance is healthy, right? If you've started a ton of customization work, or you're 8 releases behind and you've got a waiver for some reason, those are things that will also present hurdles. And so we just want to make sure we know what those look like. And then meeting with the stakeholders. When it comes to topics like virtual agent and predictive intelligence, we typically have stakeholders from other teams being represented to validate their data or their topics or their knowledge articles. And so it is well worth everyone's while to meet with those stakeholders and come up with an action plan that everyone understands, so that they know that there may be a role, that they know that there's something coming. It just keeps everybody dialed together. To be 100% transparent with you guys, usually someone at ServiceNow facilitates steps 1 and 2 on the customer's behalf, just to kind of get all of the ducks together, get everybody on the same page, and provide that product level expertise to kind of navigate the conversation. So back when I was a solution consultant in the field, I did that. You guys could request that from your solution consultants. Charles, I don't want to speak for you, but I know with some of your customers, you do these activities all the time. I do as well. So this is, again, my job. I don't come with any kind of services cost tied to me. But we do also want you to actually finalize a customer strategy plan as a result of the meeting with the stakeholders and reviewing the recommended plan of action. It has to be something that you can execute on. It can't be something for 2021 that's going to be great and we'll get there. We need to be able to invoke change now in order to accelerate the transformation and accelerate the value. And then going ahead with the kickoff. So a lot of these features can be set up without a partner providing the services of implementation, if that made sense. I said that a little backwards, but we've got customers setting up virtual agent every week without any partner services. They're utilizing in-house developers that have taken the free training, and they're reaching out as they run into hiccups or things that they don't know. So I haven't met any customers yet that utilized a partner to implement any professional features. And I've worked with over 40 customers this year. So I don't want you guys to think we're going to have a big formal implementation kickoff and we're going to have to figure out the statement of work. There's nothing that complicated about any specific feature. Where you guys will run into trouble is when you don't understand which features are needed to get you to those digital transformation goals. That's why we do step 2. And then we measure success, right? We always want to make sure that we're helping you guys get to a point where you can prove what you did was worth the effort, right? When I was a customer, it was my job to stand up ServiceNow. I had 8 weeks to do it. I was the only one on the project, and I had a ServiceNow implementation person helping me. And in 8 weeks, I had to digitize 55 catalog items. And I felt like we were just in the muck, right? This form doesn't look right. This form has to go here. We have 18 approvals for this form. And it was just really stressful. It was a ton of work, you can imagine. But when we were done, we saw how much faster those requests were going through the system instead of the old process, which was email. So being able to measure the success told me we're on the right path. This service catalog digital thing is really worth the effort. And I think that's when I became a believer of the platform. I saw how it transformed the way that we provided service and the way our employees were able to work. So being able to measure that success, critical. And then knowing that it doesn't have to be perfect day one out of the gate. You don't have to have virtual agents set up with natural language understanding day one. You don't need 800 topics for your employees to select from because they need a robust experience. You really just need to make sure that you're picking an experience to transform, and that you can measure the success of that experience and then build on it. And that's really what we do from the ServiceNow side. We help you pick those features. We help you understand how to get the most value out of them. And then we make sure that you're successful building on the foundational blocks.
Hey, this is Charles. I just want to add a little bit more to that too. LT is exactly right. A lot of the customers that I've been able to set up some of these workshops with and go through it, and they were self-implementing, the challenge was, okay, what are the topics do we want to start with that will meet our business goals to help ensure that we're getting the most bang for the buck out the gate? Most of the times, about 90% of the times, they said, let's hold on doing anything later like NLU. Let's get the virtual agent piece correct. Start with the basics. Get that entrenched within our organization, get the end users used to that functionality. Then let's start opening up the gates to do more and more. And they're fine tuning and they're seeing much more success. In fact, there's a lot of customers that are getting a higher rate of positive feedback and adoption and using ServiceNow that weren't privy to using ServiceNow before virtual agent and other things came out. So definitely start small, grow big from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles. And with that, I'm done. I really wanted to give you guys as much time as possible. I know we got started a bit late and I ran over, but I would love to hear from you guys. What features are you interested in? What features confuse you the most? What have you been successful with? Do you have wins that you'd like to share? Do you have questions? Go for it.
Anyone using virtual agent today? Maybe start small. Anyone thinking about using virtual agent? How about you, Sean?
We're considering it. I guess one question I would have, is there a list somewhere of all the applications included with ITSM Pro? So, because if we were going to consider this, we have to match that up to what we currently have, which is the old ITSA Unlimited license, to see what we would still be entitled to and what would be left out.
Yes, so that is a great question. ITSA Unlimited was the SKU that I actually ended up standing up when I was a customer. So I remember those limited HR, ITBM, all of those other apps that are in there. What I'd really recommend you do is get the list of usage and entitlement from your sales team. So they can go into your dashboard as a customer and they can pull a usage report for you that shows everything that you own and everything that you're actually using. From there, then you can take a look at what ITSM Professional offers and decide whether you're going to be losing out on features you're actually using, or if you're going to be migrating away from owning 17 products that you never activated. But yes, those documentation pieces are available. Professional is simply 6 apps. We do have those documented, but when you're talking about the comparison from ITSA Unlimited, it's best to get that usage and adoption report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions? LT, just a quick question for you from me. Is there like a typical set of out-of-the-box topics that you always suggest that customers should go with? Like kind of the MVP, if you will, is saying you're going to get the most bang for the buck. And does that change based upon the type of customer? Like if it's an education-based customer, higher ed, hospital-based, just regular commercial, retail, anything like that? Or is there just a across the board type of best practice out of the box topics they should start with?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we're being asked that question every week by our customers. They are all curious, what are the best topics? And we're finding time after time, it's those top 5 calls to your help desk. And most of the time it's check ticket status, escalate ticket, password reset, general inquiry, which tells us nothing. But yes, the top 5 are definitely inclusive of password reset, which can be fully automated depending on what you're entitled to from a licensing perspective. We worked with one customer last year. They said, today our doctors have to call the help desk to get this password reset situation taken care of. And we're like, what? They're like, yeah, but they don't. They just go tell the nurse manager, and then she submits a ticket, and then it gets escalated, and then IT fixes the password, and they let her know, and then she has to let the doctor know, and he has to try again. And I'm just thinking, like, I've been at the doctor so many times. They've just been sitting there staring at their computer, and I wonder, were they waiting for something? Did they even have access to my file? So we thought, well, what password are they needing reset, right? What's the issue here? Do you guys have like an Active Directory problem or what? And it turned out it's the Citrix environment that they were trying to access, and their sessions were getting hung, which is a pretty common issue. And we can't fix Citrix. That's a whole different beast in and of itself that the customer is addressing, but it's a 3-year budgetary issue. So I asked the help desk manager, that's your number 1 call that you get? How many hours a year are the doctors losing in productivity? And he said 7,000 hours a year lost, and we get the complaint all the time. It is the most painful experience. And so I said, what's your ideal transformational experience? And he said, ideally, I'd love if the doctor could pick up his cell phone, chat with virtual agent, and have his sessions cleared. So that was the solution we built in 8 weeks. We didn't get it on the mobile yet. They decided not to go mobile at that time, but they put it on the portal. So we did have to utilize Integration Hub, which is a platform feature that they were entitled to. It replaced orchestration several releases ago. But essentially, they utilize the power of the platform to validate the employee is who they say they are, ask them if they want to try doing it themselves or if they want to submit a ticket, and within 30 seconds, if it validates them, it wipes out all the sessions from the mid server. So a little bit technical there, probably not enough for some people on the call, maybe too much, but we designed that with them in 8 weeks. They had the vision of what digital transformation meant for them, and we knew the product and the capability of the platform. And so we paired up to really do something meaningful with them. And it has been a huge, huge request. I get constantly emailed and called about this use case and how it worked out and how we designed it for them. But honestly, not every environment is that dependent on Citrix, right? So that's definitely a healthcare use case. And then we have the work from home, which has been huge around universities. So we released those topics, a small topic set of 5 work from home topics out on our store, and those topics are free. You can download them and get them in your instance, and it's just meant to give you a jump start on helping your remote workforce. And so I know we've had several customers that have seen success with those topics. They were a phase 2. I don't have any customers that went live with the work from home topics phase 1. They did a soft intro with virtual agent with 5 cases, or with 5 topics. And I will tell you guys, I haven't had any customers go live with more than 5 topics for the first phase. They've all tried to keep it very small in scope.
That, I can definitely confirm that. That was just about as much as they were able to handle, especially with the way COVID had hit. But they were very well researched. Password reset seemed to be one of the, depending upon where it was in the order of our hierarchy, most of it was number 1. But it hit a lot of the bells and whistles of that help desk volume that was out there. So that's really great to know. I'm just assuming then some of the customers on the line, you guys might definitely be interested in some of the password reset. I know in our monthly check-ins, we talk about that. And when we first start talking about introducing the CSA program, one of the things you guys talked about were, hey, if we can get our hands on password reset and making that a really great viable product for us, or a particular tactic we can leverage, well, it sounds like VA might be able to help out if you're using ITSM Pro. The other question I had for you, LT, this is something I've been getting a lot from customers too, is what's the most popular channel in which that you're seeing customers leverage VA in? So I've heard Teams, I heard Slack. Is there any one that kind of stands out as one of the kind of the highest rated, or is it kind of all just depends on the customer?
Yeah, it really depends on the customer. Some of our customers don't have enterprise chat solutions yet. Macau was one of them in the success story that I shared earlier in the presentation, MGM. They didn't have an enterprise chat solution. A customer that saw some incredible success with virtual agent right when COVID hit, they didn't have enterprise chat. So their leadership came to them and said, hey, you're going to need to come up with $30,000 to give all these people BOMGAR licenses so that they can chat with each other now that everybody's at home. And I think it was the AVP for IT said, we own a chat solution. Now get it up and running. And they did in 1 week. In 1 week, they had enterprise chat along with 4 chat queues set up and virtual agent with 5 topics. And they had it live and they just took off with it. They downloaded the work from home topics. They are currently integrating, I want to say, password reset is what they're working on right now. So the trickiest part with setting up password reset is getting through the security requirements of dual authentication factor and making sure people are who they say they are, and getting access to the service portal if you can't sign in. It's all those things, and none of them are that complicated. I've set it up, I've seen it work. It is a really great and powerful application. All you got to do is get the ducks in a row with your security pieces. But anyways, sorry, that was a sidebar, Charles. To answer your first question, Teams is the most common one that I see, aside from no chat solution at all.
Gotcha. And then for some of those government-based entities that may have a service portal that's exposed externally, is there a way that they can leverage virtual agent to kind of help with like the end users, like say myself, reaching out to Orange County in Florida to get a permit for all sorts of other things, and maybe they're using ServiceNow. I don't know if Orange County is using us or not, but just kind of examples like that. Is that a possibility, or is it purely an internal type of application that could be leveraged across the platform?
That's a great question. So virtual agent is not only available for IT, it's also available for HR, and it's available for customer service. So within virtual agent, you can set up those topics. You do have to activate those plugins. They're 3 separate plugins. ITSM Professional only entitles you to the virtual agent for ITSM. But in a scenario where you would want to really invoke change and digital transformation, again, depending on your company goals, you would want to definitely recommend utilizing that, because you can always do a live transfer within virtual agent to the chat queue. And then and you can integrate with whatever preferred chat queue customer service uses, or whatever preferred chat queue the organization has if it's not ServiceNow. So a lot of options for making that a seamless integrated experience because of the platform and the capability for API integration.
No, that's really, really great to know, LT. Well, thank you so much. I know I asked a series of questions for some of the customers that may not have been able to join for this call. Hopefully they'll hear it during the recording. Are there any other questions from the customers that are on the call that you may have for LT while we have her from about ITSM Pro? Okay. Well, I thank you so much, LT, for your time today. Thank you all who attended the call. I'm going to provide a survey link, and we greatly appreciate it for those who attended, as well as those who are hearing this recording, to fill out and submit back to us so that we can figure out if there needs to be a separate section on ITSM Pro or other topics that you guys are interested in as well. Thank you so much, all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.